believe this. This is so cool. How many times have we met up?
Like 2-3 times in different cities. 2
or 3 times in different cities. And it has been fun every time. I'm so excited to be here. It is the Smoke Currency Tour. Oh my God. And I am here with Krysta. If you guys don't know her, I want you to go and follow the Highly Connected app. Correct?
Yes.
Download that, baby. Yes, download it. So you can get started on this Smoke Currency Tour, because it is so important to follow us from state to state. This is the first one, right?
This is a takeoff. We're launching.
Who picked this? Who picked Michigan?
You did.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I picked Michigan. We landed in Detroit last night. Krysta got here earlier than I did.
Yes.
And so the first thing we want to do is start off with something simple. And the simple thing we're going to do is we're going to pop some seeds.
Let's do it.
Okay, cool. We have these seeds here. I'm going to give her half, and or something. And there's actually 2 ways to pop them. So, Krysta, this is like the start of something. So tell me, when you are popping seeds, what do you think about? I mean, do you put some energy into it? Like when I pop seeds, I kind of like just close my hands up like this, and I just kind of put some of my energy into them. And for me, it's a spiritual thing. So how do you pop seeds?
Usually it's not like that. It's like thousands of seeds at a time. When we are doing seeds, it's usually more like agricultural setting, outdoor cultivation. So hemp ideally has been a situation where I've used seeds before, and it's a lot, right? And it's like pumping. If it's not going as fast as you can by yourself with like 10 people, then it's a machine and you're checking the machine. So it's a little different than having that love and TLC, because it's usually for a project when I'm popping some seeds.
I totally get it. And so I wanted her to explain that it's so important to understand that you have the private growers, people that grow at home.
Yep.
And then you have bigger corporate growers too.
Yep.
And on a larger mass. So people do it different ways, but we have some great seeds here, and we don't even know, what are these? We know
these are actually compliments of some guy that saw me at a hemp convention in Florida and like gave me hundreds of seeds. So.
Oh, okay. So sometimes you don't know what you're going to get. And that's the story of some of the largest companies out there and some of the best strains out there. People don't know what they're going to get. And it's almost like a surprise. So let's go ahead and get that part started. First of all, I like using spring water. So I just have some spring water here. And we're going to do it 2 different ways. Do you guys remember like kindergarten?
Yes. that was the one thing that I remember when I started, doing seeds and being able to understand, like, it's almost the same thing. Like all the plants, the fruits, the vegetables, it's all very similar. It's cultivation, agriculture, it's not just cannabis.
Right.
So it's the process of growing.
Exactly. So what I did was I wet my paper towels, and I did double paper towels. You can actually do it. With a paper plate too. And so it's almost like you did when you were younger, So I'm going to put a couple of these in here. For me, I'm going to do 3. How many are you doing?
Put 2.
Okay, 2. And so I just kind of put them in there after I poured the water. I don't know if you guys can kind of see. So I got 3 seeds right in the center. And then I'm going to just fold over and fold over again. And that's my 3.
There's my 2.
And there's okay, cool. All right. And then we still have more seeds left. So we're going to pop some additional seeds. And this way.
What you drinking over there?
Oh, my goodness. One of our sponsors, Dr. Bridget, who's out of Ohio and Michigan. She's a licensed cannabis doctor and enthusiast and speaker. She's amazing. She's one of our sponsors, and she owns Blossom Bar. And this is just delicious. So she made this THC drink for me.
Ooh. Looks like a mimosa.
Oh my goodness, it is delicious. It is so good. It is really, really good. So we're going to go ahead and add some. I'm going to add some to this cup. Go ahead. You put yours in. I'll put mine in. Okay, and you want to add the water? Cool. All right, cool. And so it's this simple, guys. It's really, really this simple. And you can probably find seeds in most states, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. I think that with the new regulations, it really made it easier to transfer genetics and seeds because it's not technically cannabis until anything, grows of it.
Right, the fruit.
Yeah, until the fruit's there, you're good to go.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You know what? You said that you basically did it in a large scale. So tell us a little bit about that, Krysta. How long have you been doing this?
Shoot, I've been in the commercial space for 15 years now.
15 years?
Yeah.
Where'd you start?
In Denver, Colorado, back in 2009. Right out of 2008, almost, I believe maybe even right out of high school. Mm-hmm. Basically, my friend was like, hey, you want to work at an indoor garden? And I was like, what's an indoor garden? What does that mean?
Right.
I'm like, what? And at that time, I didn't even have any kind of thought process of really like growing and even fruits and vegetables and stuff. That really wasn't my thing. But I was like, okay, let me check it out. Cultivation, growing, caregiverships at the time is really what it was. And so, it really led me to be in the mix of things. And then I started slowly but surely going from process to process. So I got invited to trim. You had to be someone.
That's like the first step.
Yeah, you gotta get someone to trim, and that's usually how you get in the mix. You gotta get your stuff processed down, So I got invited to trim, and I was just really good and efficient at it. So slowly but surely, they were like, go water if you don't mind. Oh, I'm gonna give you the keys. You go ahead and take care of this. Slowly but surely, I was just 20, 21 years old. So I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
I'll do it all. You know what I mean? Whatever you need.
But when you're working with these plants, there is something different about it. When I started going to grows and started working with grows, and I got into that plant space, the nursery, from the nursery where they're little babies all the way up to where they're actually taller than you, it felt different for me. Did you get that feeling? Did you get a different vibe, like almost a peaceful feeling?
I did. I honestly, I loved being in the grow because usually like when I'm doing work inside of the cultivation space, especially, it's more of like one-on-one time for me. Mm-hmm. I'm like by myself. I usually have my headphones on. I'm usually listening to like a podcast or trying to do something to keep my mind for the 8 to 10 hours that I'm going to be focused on doing tedious work. Mm-hmm. So it really made me be able to do that because I'm really social and I've always been, a networker and out in the mix with a lot of friends all the time. So it made me kind of like calm down a little bit and focus, right? And it made a way for me to be able to do that because usually I don't do that. But when I have a mission, I'm down.
I get it. I totally get it. And when I heard about you, it was so amazing because one of the things that I found out is about your experience, about your highly connected app, about how you were so diverse in the industry. And so we met virtually. I can't even remember. It was like on some call or whatever. But we kind of clicked and we just kind of stuck together and moved from different places to different places. And we always found each other in the circle. But I think the plant does that. The plant brings different people together and then they find that one thing that they are, enjoy. And then it kind of grows from there.
Yep.
So that's kind of how our friendship became what it is right now. And we decided to spend 3 days together with 7 people that we don't really know. And I convinced her to do it, okay? And I was like, hey, are you down for this? And she was like, I'm down for this. And it has just been amazing. It's been the best opportunity putting this project together. I really appreciate you trusting me. The Highly Connected app is one of the best apps out there to find different people in the space. And so tell us about that.
Yeah, really, a lot of the things that we're doing with the tour, I do in a way, with my little crew, my squad. So when you had brought up the idea, it was like, it makes a lot of sense, you know, because I've already been puzzle piecing this together on my side. My whole life really, it really fits my profile and who I am. And so coming together on the tour, it was really a blessing because, you know, having a whole bunch of people that are a little bit diverse in the people I actually know. Usually it's all my people, you know, my THC squad and my, you know, so we travel together and stuff, but being able to.
Mr. Fun Guy wants to come in the room.
Okay.
Oh,
that's
nice.
cool. Yeah.
Okay to let him in?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, let's do it.
Go live with Mr. Fun Guy 420.
Hey, Rick. I can't believe we're here. We're in Michigan. We're in Detroit. How are you doing, Rick? Are you on?
Oh, he's not there yet. Where'd he go?
Oh.
Tell him to request.
There he is.
Hey, Rick.
Hey.
Well, we're here. We're in Michigan. We're in Detroit. Tell us a little bit about where you're at and when you're going to be joining us.
Well, I'm at home right now watching my my young ones. Hoping to be able to get out of here this afternoon.
Cool.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about Michigan. I'm so excited that you were able to join us. Let me introduce you to the wonderful, magnificent trailblazer, Krysta Jones.
Hey, it's so good to see you, and I can't wait to see you in person.
Yeah, you as well. And yeah, like Thunder was just saying, thank you for coming and being a part of this too. I think powerful influences and minds and voices gathering together, you know, makes us all stronger. So that's great that you're here. So thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Rick, tell the audience a little bit about your background. I mean, you've been hitting the pavement hard here in Michigan for a while, right?
Yeah, I joined the medical side, the caregiving side of our medical program here in Michigan early on, and through that process, the learning of the cultivating and the medicinal values and the needs of the 5 patients that we have allotted that were allotted here in Michigan with our program, the various different things that they would need as I grew the medicine. It was, for me anyway, starting off was trying to understand the diversity of it, because it didn't make sense to me in the beginning when you often hear, well, just cannabis plant, it's just, you know, regular, it's just weed, you know, you throw it in the ground, it does what it does, and it is what it is, and that's that. Once we understood how diverse it was chemically broken down between strains and everything, we really started understanding the medicine. So that's where I started with that, and then got into the fight for the continuance of our rights. We became recreational here in Michigan, and we voted for very specific things recreationally and medicinally, and just trying to keep those in place in a safe atmosphere and with opportunity for Michiganders and safe access.
I love that. That is huge. Let me ask you this. What is the most popular way? We were just talking about Poppin Seeds, and we actually did 2 methods here. What's the most popular way of popping seeds in Michigan?
I can't say what might be the most popular way. I know, like you said, there's a various different ways. So some will do the paper towel method that you did. Also, the water in the jar kind of soak process is also one. You can add. Some people will add humic. So this is a full power, basically just a humic acid. You know, you can find it in different varieties. This is just a product that has it. Some people will add that to their soak. I prefer myself using another plant. So by using aloe.
Oh my good.
Nice.
Are you saying aloe vera?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. You sounded like my grandmother now. Come on. Tell me about the aloe vera.
So aloe is remarkable in its properties for germination, and I don't quote me on the percentage, but I want to say it's 50 or better % increase in germination when you use aloe. Yeah, so I coat the seed with aloe and then I'll soak it in water. That's how I generally germinate. And then with clones as well, you can take a piece of aloe, cut a small snippet of it, put your cut through there, and it protects it from any ailments and illnesses as well through that early process.
Nice.
Rick, that is so nice. I'm glad you shared that gem with us because, it's just one plant helping another plant.
Yep.
And it just really, really signifies how everything we need is already here in the earth. You know what I mean? It's just that is so cool. I love, love, love that. What's interesting right now is that I'm just thinking about the three of us being on this live, and I'm actually from Oklahoma. You're from
Miami originally, but I lived in Denver for a large part of my life as well.
And here you're from Michigan, and we all are being brought together based off of this plant. And I just think that is so, so cool. I can't wait till you join us later on this afternoon and tomorrow for your big interview. Tell us a little bit about the Weedsters.
Well, Michigan Weedsters is founded by Brian Bringold, Amy Carter, Latricia Matson, and myself. And Amy Carter kind of the forefront of it with Jayden. Currently, we have a bill in the House that it's in committee for Jayden's law, which is Jayden is Amy Carter's son, and so Michigan Weedsters kind of had this like protect our rights, our medical access, what our law was, and what it was intended for. We really want to try and help shape it in the best way possible and keep it in a safe place and even a more mainstream place, because since recreational has come in, it's really minimized our medical side of viewing the plant. You come to Michigan and often people are kind of thinking more on a recreational mindset, whereas when we just had our medical, legal side of things, we were having people moving here with their children to achieve the medicine that they needed. So that narrative for me, and I think Michigan Weedsters as well, is to make sure that we maintain the value of this plant in its essence and its earliest part, which is health and wellness and giving back and healing, and that also encompasses how it brings so many people together, because it doesn't matter if you're brown, green, or purple. This plant has an ability to heal and enrich our lives.
I totally agree. One of the things, Krysta, did you know that he was a best-selling author?
No, I didn't know that.
Tell us about your book.
Yeah, please tell us.
Well, it is kind of odd, right? I'm very flattered, but all of that really goes to Dr. Bridget. She's such a visionary with the Courage in Cannabis book, the series. The first one came out a couple years ago, hit bestseller. It's kind of a chicken soup for the soul kind of style, so it has multiple authors, and really expresses a broad scale of people's individual paths with cannabis, whether it was medical or whether it was being incarcerated or whether it was I never knew anything about cannabis, but now all of a sudden it's in my life and it's saving it. It's changed my whole scope. So I think a book like that in literature in any value, the written piece is very, very valuable for our fight, because there's a lot of people that still do read and they comprehend things better sometimes by reading it. So having literature out there is very important. So I enjoyed my story, but what I really enjoy about the book is everyone else's. Amy Carter is also in there with her and Jayden's story. Ed Rosenthal did a little snip in there. One of the great cannabis cultivars. So Mike Tyson also mentioned some things in this book too. So it's got a really cool vibe to it. It's very broad, really good representation of how cannabis again brings so many people together.
That's exciting. And this weekend we're going to be doing an activation at the public library. And that is this is the first time that this has been done on the Smoke Currency Tour, or I don't think anybody else has done it. For me, growing up, and I was a single mom at a young age. My first child, I had her at 19. And so we had to balance education and also giving mommy a break. Okay. Sure. And so I started taking my kids to the public library.
That's smart.
And it was quiet and it was still nice. And you could spend a lot of time there. But what I realized is as I got into the cannabis space, we were not using that resource. And I think it's interesting. Yes, it's true. You can get online. You can watch YouTube. You can go and do Google searches, all of those things if you want to enter into the cannabis space as far as understanding wellness in cannabis, as far as actually entering into a business in cannabis or plant medicine. But what I thought was really so interesting is that they also have books to teach how to grow and all of those things, even with psilocybin. Yeah. So I said, for the child or the young adult that wants to start out and start someplace, and maybe they don't have the internet because of financial reasons, or maybe they may live in an area that is a little bit more economically depressed, where could they go? Right. And so we're going to spotlight that in every state, a public library. That's awesome. I'm really, really excited about that. So, and we're going to spotlight authors. We're going to spotlight Krysta's highly connected app. Hey. We're going to be able to give people so much information. And guess what? We got merch too. So we're going to have sweatshirts, t-shirts, all types of things. This is going to be a great opportunity for those that are out there to learn about the wellness of this plant. Yep. And business, right? Business, and also just all the differences. I think that, the different angles and perspectives from people, but also the rules, right? Like that's so confusing for everybody. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Do you know if you go into Pennsylvania, cannabis is legal, but you can't have a bud? That's so crazy. You can only grind it up and use it, right? But if it's in a bud form, it's illegal. I was saying that's like having ice is illegal, but water is okay. Right. Exactly. It makes no sense whatsoever. So we're going to talk about some of those crazy laws. I love Jayden's law that Amy is working on. That's another crazy law. If you have a child that has a medical card, maybe they have seizures, maybe they have autism, you actually have to park 1,000 square feet from your child's school, walk to your child's school to pick your child up, take your child back another 1,000 square feet, then turn around and give your child their medicine. Then you can walk back or drive your child back, as long as you don't have the cannabis. In the car, back to the school. Dang. In Michigan, where it snows a lot, it's cold. And I know people say, well, people are used to it, but is that really fair, right? Right.
Yeah. No, in there too, I think to think about the struggles that some of these children that are using cannabis to enhance their lives, they get to a point where maybe they're severely or some very specific spectrum of autism, and they're not really fit for school and don't have the availability capacity to do it. But with cannabis, they find that they have a disability now, but then to say that I can't take my medicine that helps me be here is insane as well. And too, for seizures even, if they suppress the seizures enough for the child to have the capacity to go to school, then they often go to school. So it's if they can have Adderall and some of these other prescribed things in the nurse's care, then they can certainly have a RSO oil or a gummy of some sort of non-combustible product for the other child. Yep.
What is a weird law that you've run into while you were out?
I've run into within like New York when I visit New York. People will be smoking by me, and I'm like, "There's a cop coming! Like, stop smoking by me!" You know? They're like, "Nah, it's like a cigarette here." I'm like, "Wait, what? Stop smoking by me!"
Right? And
like,
you just
don't get me in trouble, you know? But they're like, "Nah, it's like a cigarette," you know? And I'm like, "Well, that's not how it is in Denver."
Right?
Like, you smoke outside in a public area, it doesn't matter. You could have your medical card, and they're still giving you a ticket. You know, so that was pretty shocking to me. There's a lot of different rules. As I go to the East Coast, like everything's wild, wild west. You know, and as you go back west, it's, you know, there's a lot of wild, wild west, but there's a lot more development within the legal operations, you know, the licensed producers. So,
oh wow.
It's hard to keep up with, honestly, sometimes, sure.
It's definitely hard to keep up with. And that's part of the Smoke Currency Tour, too. We want to be able to give you the most up-to-date information as you travel across the country, just trying to live your own life. We really don't want people to have any legal issues. We want them to be able to find the best plants, and we want them to be able to find relationships like we've developed with Rick. So I'm really, really excited about the Smoke Currency Tour. Today is the launch, baby. We are going to be all over Denver. I mean, not Denver. I'm listening to you.
Where are we, Michigan?
This Blossom Bar, well, yeah, this is doing some stuff, okay? We're going to be all over Detroit today. It's going to be really, really fun. So sorry about that. But I'm really excited. Thunderwalker Experience. Go ahead, log in, send me a message. I am Thunderwalker. Download the app.
The highly connected app. Stay highly connected.
Stay highly connected. How can they find you?
You can find us at thehighcountrygirls.com. You can find everything, or you can download the highly connected app on all platforms.
Okay, cool. And Rick, how can they find you?
I'm Mr. Fungi _420 on Instagram, and then just Rick Anstiss or Michigan Weedsters or Big Cloud Farms. You'll find me.
And go check out his book along with Dr. Bridget and all the other authors that are out there. It's really an opportunity to learn and to empower yourself and make your life better. This is all about wellness. And I really, really hope that you take a moment to realize how important this is. I don't really care if you ever try cannabis. You don't have to try cannabis. For the people that need it and the people that have to have it, the people that work in this industry, follow along and find out all of the benefits. So when it's time to vote, you can have a clear conscience on how you're voting. Because you may be voting for a child that has epilepsy or autism. You may be voting for a woman that just started her own business, and this is her way of making a living for herself and providing for herself. You may be voting for a man that's taking care of his family, or maybe taking care of his parents that are elderly. You may be voting for a elderly person that just had a hip replacement. It may not be about you. It may not be about you. And that's what the Smoke Currency Tour is about. We're going to show you why this is so important for the life of human beings in general. And not only that, we haven't even started talking about pets and everything that CBD does for pets. Just stay tuned. There's 20 states, 3 cities per state at least, and a whole bunch of fun. I woke up this morning and I said to myself, why in the world do I not have a Starbucks near me? But I found out that the place here is Coney's, and you got to choose which one you like. So there's so many different things that we're going to find out about this state, Michigan, and what's going to be so important in this state. I'm out of here. I'm Thunderwalker with the Thunderwalker Experience, and this is
Krysta Jones, THC Girls, the highly connected.
And who are you?
Rick Anstiss.
With the Weedsters.
Yeah,
Who am I?
That is Rick Anstiss today. That's it.
We
That's
can't
Rick.
wait to see you guys. I'm so excited. Come on down and enjoy. Let's give it to us. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.